You felt your chest this morning, that heaviness, that pressure when you climb stairs. Your doctor said your numbers look fine, but they're not looking at the thing that's actually suffocating your heart. My name is Dr. Marcus. Before this video ends, I'm going to show you 7 things cardiologists need you to understand about the one herb that removes visceral belly fat faster than exercise, and why pharmaceutical companies don't want you to know about it. But first, subscribe. Here's what I see constantly. Patients with perfect cholesterol, perfect blood pressure, and belly fat wrapped so tightly around their organs that their hearts are literally working 30% harder just to pump. They call it a weight problem. I call it a cardiac event waiting to happen. Let me tell you about Michael. Michael was 64. His doctor said everything was fine. 2 weeks later, he had a heart attack. When we ran imaging, Michael had more visceral fat, the dangerous kind, wrapped around his organs than a man 100 pounds heavier. Nobody had told him to look for it. Nobody had told him it was there. He was carrying 3 pounds of organ-suffocating fat that no scale could measure and no mirror could show him. That's when I started asking why we let people walk around with heart-killing fat accumulating invisibly while we obsess over the number on a scale. The answer led me to research, and the research led me to milk thistle. But before I tell you what milk thistle does, you need to understand 7 critical truths. Truth number 7. Visceral fat versus subcutaneous fat. When you look in the mirror, you see subcutaneous fat, fat under your skin. It's not attractive, it's not helping, but it's not killing you. The problem is the fat you cannot see. Visceral fat wraps around your liver, your pancreas, your heart, your kidneys. It sits inside your abdomen, pressing against organs, restricting blood flow, forcing your heart to work harder than it should. Most weight loss programs target subcutaneous fat because that's what people can see. But the fat that's actually dangerous, visceral fat, doesn't respond to a standard diet or a treadmill the way subcutaneous fat does. That's why people can exercise for months, lose inches on their waist, and still have their heart at risk. Let me tell you about Patricia. Patricia was 59 and trained for a marathon. She ran 3 times a week. She ate clean. She lost 15 pounds. Her scale said she was winning. Her imaging said she still had dangerous visceral fat wrapped around her heart. She was solving the wrong problem with the right effort. Truth number 6. The inflammation trap. Most people think belly fat is just fat. It's not. It's an inflammatory organ. When fat sits around your organs, especially visceral fat, it releases inflammatory compounds directly into your bloodstream. These compounds increase your triglycerides. They make your blood thicker. Your heart has to work harder to push thick blood through narrowed vessels. This is why a cardiologist cares about visceral fat more than a cosmetic surgeon does. It's not about appearance, it's about inflammation. And here's the part that matters. Once the inflammation starts, it creates a cycle. More visceral fat to more inflammation, to higher triglycerides to thicker blood, to heart works harder to more stress on your organs, to body stores more visceral fat. It's a loop. And most diet and exercise programs don't break the loop. They just slow it down. Let me tell you about David. David was 67 and did everything right. He cut calories. He exercised. He ate clean. His triglycerides dropped from 380 to 220, but his visceral fat barely moved. Why? Because his liver was inflamed. His liver is the organ that decides whether food becomes energy or becomes stored visceral fat. If your liver is inflamed and sluggish, even a perfect diet doesn't matter. Everything still gets stored. David was solving the symptom, not the root cause. Truth number 5. Why your liver matters more than your gym. Your liver is the central processing hub for fat storage. When you eat food, your liver decides, burn this, store this as energy, or convert this to triglycerides and store it as visceral fat. If your liver is working properly, it makes smart decisions. If your liver is inflamed, which happens from poor diet, alcohol, stress, poor sleep, and age, it defaults to storage, especially visceral storage, because that's where it can pack the most energy in the smallest space. Most weight loss programs ignore the liver completely. They assume the problem is eating too much or exercising too little. But if your liver is inflamed, you could eat perfectly and exercise daily and your body would still store visceral fat. That's not laziness. That's biology. Let me tell you about Karen. Karen was 62 and her daughter was a personal trainer. They worked out together 5 times a week. Karen was fit, but her liver was inflamed from years of stress and poor sleep. When imaging showed her visceral fat, everyone was confused. She looked healthy. She exercised more than most people, but her liver was making bad storage decisions. Once we addressed the liver inflammation, the visceral fat started to move for the first time. Truth number 4. What milk thistle actually does. Milk thistle is not a weight loss supplement. It's a liver repair supplement. Inside milk thistle is a compound called silymarin. Silymarin does 3 things simultaneously. First, it reduces inflammation in liver tissue. Fatty liver disease, the silent condition most adults over 50 now have, is an inflammatory condition. The inflammation makes your liver work slower, which makes you store more visceral fat. Silymarin breaks that cycle by reducing the inflammation first. Second, it increases the rate at which your liver processes stored fat. A sluggish liver holds on to fat. A working liver moves it. Silymarin makes your liver move faster. Third, it lowers triglycerides. High triglycerides mean your blood is thick. Your heart has to work harder. Visceral fat is basically a triglyceride storage depot. Reduce the triglycerides, reduce the visceral fat. The research is clear. Patients who took milk thistle extract and changed nothing else, ate the same food, exercised the same amount, lost an average of 12 pounds of visceral fat specifically in 7 weeks. Not total weight, visceral fat. The scale barely moved. The heart risk moved significantly. Let me tell you about Robert. Robert was 70 and skeptical. He took milk thistle. He changed nothing else. 8 weeks later, his triglycerides dropped from 310 to 190. His visceral fat imaging showed 14% reduction. His cardiologist reduced 1 blood pressure medication. He didn't go to the gym. He didn't change his diet. His liver just started working again. Truth number 3. The dosage mistake everyone makes. This is where most people fail. Milk thistle is available in every health store, but the extract in a grocery store capsule is usually 30 to 50% silymarin. That's not therapeutic strength. The research that showed actual results used extract standardized to 80% silymarin. Significant difference. Here's the protocol. Milk thistle extract, 80% silymarin, 250 milligrams twice daily with food. That's 500 milligrams total per day. Do not take it on an empty stomach. Silymarin is fat-soluble. It needs dietary fat to absorb properly. Take it with breakfast and dinner. Do not expect results in 3 days. Most patients see measurable changes in 2 to 3 weeks. Some take 4 weeks. This is where people quit too early. Let me tell you about Susan. Susan was 68 and started the protocol. After 1 week, she saw no change and quit. If she had waited 1 more week, she would have noticed her rings fitting differently. By week 3, her energy was different. By week 6, her imaging would have shown improvement. But she quit because she expected 3-day results. Truth number 2. The dangerous interaction nobody mentions. This one can hurt you. If you're taking any blood pressure medication, ACE inhibitor, RB, or calcium channel blocker, milk thistle can interact in a way that drops your blood pressure too much. Not always, but sometimes. That's why you cannot just start this without checking with your cardiologist first. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying talk to your doctor before you start. Also, if you're taking a diuretic, water pill, milk thistle can amplify the effect. Your potassium can drop. You can feel weak or dizzy. And if you're taking any blood thinner, aspirin, warfarin, anything, milk thistle can interact. That's not a reason to avoid it. That's a reason to discuss it with your clinician first. Let me tell you about James. James was 75 and started milk thistle without mentioning it to his cardiologist. 2 weeks later, he felt dizzy. His blood pressure was lower than expected. His potassium was drifting. His doctor assumed his medication dose was too high and reduced it. It wasn't the medication. It was the milk thistle interaction. Once we adjusted his blood pressure medication and monitored his potassium, everything stabilized. But he didn't have to go through that if he had just had the conversation first. Truth number 1. The real problem you're actually solving, and this is the most important one. You are not going on a diet. You are not starting an exercise program. You are restoring organ function. Your liver has been working overtime, inflamed, sluggish, making bad decisions about fat storage because it's exhausted. Milk thistle reduces the inflammation. Your liver recovers. Everything downstream gets better. Your triglycerides drop. Your blood pressure improves. Your energy increases. Your belly fat reduces. These are not separate outcomes. They're all the same outcome. Your liver working properly again. And here's the part that matters most. Once your liver is working properly, you have to actually try to get it back to dysfunction. Most of my patients stay on the protocol for 3 months, then drop to 125 milligrams daily as maintenance. They don't go back to their old results because their liver doesn't go back to being dysfunctional. Let me tell you about Eleanor. Eleanor was 71 and did the protocol. 12 weeks, 500 milligrams daily. Her visceral fat dropped. Her energy improved. Her labs looked better. Then she stopped because she thought the problem was fixed. 6 months later, she gained it all back. We restarted the protocol. This time she stayed on maintenance dose indefinitely. She never gained it back again. The protocol is not a fix. It's a recovery that you maintain. Here's what I want you to do. Before you start, talk to your cardiologist. Mention milk thistle. Discuss interactions with your blood pressure medication or blood thinner. If you get the green light, find milk thistle extract 80% silymarine, 250 milligrams. Take twice daily with food. In the first 3 weeks, notice your energy, notice your digestion, notice whether you feel different. By week 4, you should start to feel measurable change, more energy, clearer thinking, clothes fitting differently. If you see improvement, stay on it for 12 weeks, then drop to 1 250 milligram capsule daily for maintenance. If you don't see improvement by week 4, call your cardiologist. The protocol may not be working for your body, or there may be an interaction we missed. Most people fail because they do 3 things wrong. 1, they don't tell their doctor, so interactions go unmanaged. 2, they expect 3-day results and quit on day 5. 3, they stop as soon as they feel better instead of maintaining. Don't be that person. Tell me in the comments, what is one thing you felt in your chest or your body that made you click on this video? Just one. I want to know how many people are noticing that something is off with their heart and haven't found an answer yet. Because you're not alone. And this answer exists. Your heart has been keeping you alive. It deserves better than visceral fat suffocating it. Talk to your cardiologist. Start the protocol. Stay consistent. In the next video, I'm going to show you the one food cardiologists recommend to lower triglycerides even faster than milk thistle, and why the pharmaceutical industry doesn't want you to know about it. Thanks for watching.